Breaking news, the beetles are dying. I repeat, the beetles are dying. Across the globe, we have witnessed 43% declines in beetles in national parks, such as in Germany, in the US, and in other countries throughout Europe. Now, we don't know why this might be. This has been a global phenomenon that has been happening for centuries. So today, we've hired our best detective, P.I. Campbell, to get on the case and investigate the root causes.
First question, why declining of the beetles is so important?
Well, it's a pretty easy question. Beetles are really important for a lot of reasons, particularly pollination. 10% of all crops are pollinated by beetles, so without them we'd be lost. They're also really vital for soil health, waste disposal, that kind of thing. Really, really important. And also they are an integral part of the food chain as predators for pest control and also as prey for birds and larger insects, that kind of thing. So a lot of reasons.
Second question, what's to blame for declining of the beetles?
Well, right now we have three suspects. We have climate change, we have pollution, and different agricultural practices as our last one. We're focused in on agricultural areas because right now we are in a global food crisis, which is really, really important for our survival. 55% of American land is used for agriculture, for crops, that kind of thing. So already it's a huge portion of the land. And yeah, it's quite a selfish thing, but it's for our survival. We need to look after them so they can look after us. And yeah, I don't understand why people are they don't understand that this is really important. You clearly don't care. Like people are always just getting up and it's you just don't understand. You just don't understand.
We're sorry about that. She is working on her anger issues. Hold on. I have just received intelligence that under 38% of all biodiversity reports published in the past century have included beetles. As the largest order in the animal kingdom, with around 400,000 currently described species, this is a true travesty. What's that? She's back? I've received news. Detective Campbell has in fact calmed down. Join us as we follow her on her statistical investigation as to what is to blame for this loss.
To address the current issues, we have chosen three major factors in agricultural production that may contribute to declining of the beetles: climate change, agricultural practice, and pollution. Unfortunately, due to limitation of the database, we have to use the separate data from temperature, land usage, and pollution areas. To specify our biological factor, the beetles, we have to choose predict database run by the Natural History Museum that including more than 10,000 ecological surveys from different areas of the world. The data will reveal where beetles are, when they were found, and what is the biodiversity within a certain area. However, the data itself is not sufficient enough compared to our abiotic factors, so we have to make it into a biodiversity comparison. In order to do this, we are most likely to use what's called Simpson's Biodiversity Index, known as SBI, which is a ratio of how many species were found in a given area, known as the species richness, and how many individuals of each species were found in that area, known as species evenness.
So, detective, what do you expect this investigation of yours to yield?
Well, we're going to find the drivers behind beetle decline. We want to know if our three variables have a statistically significant effect on beetle biodiversity in agricultural areas, and what procedures we can put in place to protect our beetle populations.
So you say procedures, but what sort of things are you talking about? And who is the we in question?
Well, I think it's quite clear it's the government that needs to put these procedures in place. We need protective measures against over-agricultural land use. We need reductions in pollution. pesticides and that kind of thing are just harming our environment beyond repair. And climate change is spoken about hugely, and it is really important. We need to fix these problems, and the government needs to implement procedures to help that.
You heard it here first, folks. Join us later at 9 to find out if your cat is secretly a fish in disguise.